Welcome to Kaumudy Global. The word nation is a Western concept. India is a union of states like Europe, said Rahul Gandhi. I'm Anjana and let's know about the effects of this statement in detail. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi defended his belief India is not a nation but a union of states when he addressed to a packed hall of students at Cambridge University on Monday, May 23rd. He also said that his father's death had given him the strength to deal with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's personal attacks. Dr. Shruti Kapila, a Corpus Christi College fellow who invited Rahul Gandhi to speak at the India at 75 event, opened the session by saying that freedom in India is in short supply today and that India seems to be preparing for a new identity in the centenary year of the formation of RSS in 2025. The term nation is a Western concept, according to Rahul. Think of India like a Europe that is politically and economically united. That is what India achieved 70 years ago. The RSS see India as a geographical India. For us, India comes alive when India speaks and dies when India goes silent. What I see is going on, a systematic attack on the institutions that allow India to speak. I have a problem if anyone has a vision for India that excludes people, he said. Mr. Modi is constructing a vision of India where he is leaving out huge chunks of our population, he alleged. Explaining why Congress was still losing elections, he said, what we are fighting in India is a massive concentration of wealth and a capture of all the institutions. I am an opposition leader and I'm talking to you in Cambridge. If the leader of the BJP was talking to you, you would see it all across India in the media. You will not see this talk for more than 30 seconds anywhere in the Indian media. We are not fighting a political party. We are fighting a capture of the Indian state and it's not easy, he added. He said, a democratic context depends on certain structures. It depends on an election system that is free, a judiciary that is independent, and a press that is fair, and very importantly, depends on the type of money that different political formations have. If we are fighting an electoral contest, then we are fighting the institutional structure of India, he said. He said the solution was to go the Gandhian way, go directly to the people and mobilize the masses and do padayatras. For quite some time, the Gandhi Scion has been working on his alternative dimension. He enjoys being outspoken since he understands that it teases and generates media's attention. It accords with his ambition to upset the Modi fans. However, it wasn't just the BJP that had reservations about Gandhi's statement. Someone in the audience did as well. An Indian civil worker, Siddhartha Verma, challenged the Congress leader on his concept of India and objected to his use of the term group of states. The Cambridge scholar said that India is a nation and the same has been mentioned in the preamble of Constitution. In a direct address to Gandhi, Verma also raised questions over whether his idea of India was not only flawed but also destructive, as it seemed to whitewash a history which was thousands of years old. Responding to him, Gandhi said that Rashtra is a kingdom.
Did he use the word nation?
He said, you belong to a Rashtra. Rashtra is, the Sanskrit.
Rashtra is kingdom.
Rashtra, no, it's a Sanskrit name for a nation. So
nation, nation is the word nation, right, is a Western concept.
So when I talk about nation, I don't just talk about a political entity, because we've had these experiments across the world. You had USSR, you had Yugoslavia, you had the experimentation with the United Arab Republic. So unless nations have a strong socio-cultural and emotional bonding and a composite culture, a constitution cannot make a nation.
Rashtra in Sanskrit means nation, mentioned long ago by Chanakya, and nation, the word itself mentioned in the preamble of the Constitution, translates as kingdom to Rahul Gandhi and not nation. This, when challenged by the young Indian student at Cambridge, asserted that an ancient people with a sense of nationhood created a constitutional republic for themselves in 1950. Not that the long-winded Indian constitution gave birth to the concept of nation or the sense of nationhood or even the union of states. The Indian Constitution is a document that has been much amended in the last 75 years, mostly during the Congress years. Rahul Gandhi argued that nation is a Western concept, as though the thought never occurred to a genetic Indian before, during or after the American Revolution. Apart from Siddhartha Verma, the format of all his interactions was that nothing he stated could be questioned. The uproar he sparked, on the other hand, has widely been reported in Indian media, with some of the most scathing interpretations being shared in social media. It's odd that none of the other members of Rahul Gandhi's entourage seemed to speak at all, or that if they did, no one bothered to report what they said. As we all know, the United Kingdom is about to sign a defense technology transfer deal, and Boris Johnson is close to finalizing a drought-free trade agreement with Narendra Modi. Rahul Gandhi's Union of States line was frequently repeated in his speeches. He would have used it before the House of Commons. It was out of context, but what does it matter to him? The notion that he was advocating for India's disintegration has never been accepted seriously or taken hold. Some have compared it to Rahul Gandhi's intellectualism. It is supported by his out-of-power pose of cronies. Rahul Gandhi said to an interviewer in Cambridge, trying to keep up with his accurate logic and not stump him with anything at all, that China had promised prosperity. They have given $100 billion to Pakistan, he said, with assurance. So why is India negotiating a defense treaty with the United States in order to keep China from making India prosperous? After this sally, he genuinely appeared satisfied with himself. Rahul Gandhi appears to be unaware of the parameters under which China lends money rather than giving it. Aside from that, which $100 billion is he referring to? So far, nowhere like as much money has been spent on the CPEC, and China is fuming at Pakistan's retaliation. Despite the interviewer's best effort to throw him simple questions, he was stumped when asked whether there was a compact between violence and non-violence in Indian society, if there was one. After a long pause, maybe because he couldn't think of anything else to say, Rahul Gandhi finally said forgiveness.
So, how you envision the compact between violence and non-violence in Indian society?
I think, the word that comes to mind is forgiveness, right? Mm-hmm. It's not precisely the most accurate. It's
If you advocate for mass movements and talk controversially in the hopes of igniting a fire, you are almost certainly in need of forgiveness, that is for certain. This is Anjana signing off. Do like and share this video. For further updates, subscribe to Kaumudy Global.